Chapter 3770. Growing Wiser. The massive rift, known as the Rift in Soul Void, held a mysterious entity within it. This being had attempted to use the rift to escape but ultimately failed. The human sovereign's strength was already at an astonishing level. As the master of destruction and one of the most powerful beings, he wielded yin-yang real and illusory forces, making his combat prowess unparalleled. Even in Soul Void, his power was terrifying. In the real world, he would undoubtedly be even more formidable. Moreover, with an eternal stage world will under his control, the combined strength of the human sovereign and his world will was unimaginable. Lin Moyu felt a chill run through him as he instinctively compared the human sovereign to the green-robed old man. The result was unexpected. They couldn't be compared. While the human sovereign's strength was difficult to predict, it was at least within sight his limitations could be inferred. The rift in Soul Void served as a reference point. Even the human sovereign couldn't fully control it in a short time. Furthermore, Lin Moyu's illusory body had managed to evade detection by the human sovereign, proving that he wasn't omnipotent or omniscient. But when it came to the green-robed old man, that figure's strength was entirely unknown, shrouded in chaos with no discernible limits. If the old man Lin Moyu had seen during a skill demonstration years ago was indeed the green-robed old man, then his power might surpass even that of the human sovereign. Shaking his head lightly, Lin Moyu dismissed these unrealistic thoughts. Such comparisons were meaningless for him at this stage. Both figures were far beyond his current capabilities. Focusing on practical matters was far more important. Still, Lin Moyu hadn't given up. These two beings were among his ultimate goals to surpass. No matter how powerful they were, he vowed to become stronger.
Was the rift in Soul Void naturally formed or artificially created? And what exactly is hiding inside it? The human sovereign mentioned working toward a great cause, true immortality. He's already in eternal existence, so what does immortality mean to him? Could immortality be his ultimate pursuit?
The human sovereign's establishment of trading markets and dissemination of soul pearls had left imprints on countless great Tao cultivators and Tao lords across worlds within the World Tree Great Spirit domain. Perhaps all of this was part of his quest for so-called immortality. But what exactly was this immortality? A realm? A state? With too little information available, Lin Moyu couldn't comprehend it yet.
Once this journey ends, I'll ask Discernment Beast about it. It should know something.
Setting aside these thoughts, Lin Moyu resumed refining Void Soul pills. He buried today's events deep within himself. It was a closely guarded secret that few would ever know about due to the human sovereign's methods. 3 months later, the triple refined Void Soul pills were finally completed, a total of 150 pills. If sold at Lin Moyu's estimated price of 30,000 soul pearls each, they could generate 4.5 million soul pearls. Even after deducting transaction fees, over 4 million pearls would remain enough for significant purchases. Spending just over a year to earn 4 million soul pearls was an achievement most cultivators couldn't even dream of. Moreover, Lin Moyu had done so without any material costs, only investing time. After storing away his soul refining furnace and 1,000 paths and myriad images formation, Little Python asked,
Master, are we heading back to the trading market now?
Tossing it a triple refined Void Soul pill, Lin Moyu replied,
Not yet, it's too soon. Returning now would reveal how easily I can refine pills.
Little Python eagerly devoured the pill, its body glowing faintly as its aura surged. A single triple refined Void Soul pill surpassed the effects of 100 ordinary ones. Having consumed many pills before, Little Python had accumulated significant medicinal power within itself but remained in a state of slow absorption. This new pill seemed to activate those reserves, causing its aura to rise rapidly until it broke through into second-tier soul level within half an hour. Unlike other breakthroughs, it occurred silently without any grand spectacle or earth-shattering phenomena. Letting out an excited roar that shook their vacuum surroundings, Little Python exclaimed,
Master, I've reached second-tier soul.
Lin Moyu smiled.
When you reach first-tier soul level, and if you want to become a small spirit domain king, I'll give you an innate virtual treasure to refine.
Little Python shook its head.
I don't want to be a small spirit domain king, I just want to follow you.
It seemed smarter now, even resisting the temptation of becoming a small spirit domain king, and preferred staying by Lin Moyu's side. Lin Moyu let it be.
Alright then, let's explore this vacuum zone and look for great Tao beasts.
Great Tao beast essences were highly valuable in Market 8, a small cluster sold for 200,000 soul pearls. Lin Moyu already possessed one large and one small cluster, the smaller worth 200,000 pearls, while the larger could fetch over 500,000, but he hadn't sold them yet. Too many people coveted Great Tao beast essences. Revealing them would invite trouble. Would Slaughter Realm Master knew Lin Moyu could hunt Great Tao beasts but seemed more interested in void soul pills and never mentioned them directly. Since returning to the trading market wasn't an option for now, Lin Moyu decided to search for Great Tao beasts here. Instead, their essences could benefit his 1,000 worlds greatly. Many people hunted Great Tao beasts in this vacuum zone, including Tao lords from both humanity and outsider alliance realms, as well as realm masters who sent their subordinates on such missions. Both factions often operated in groups, but lone hunters like Lin Moyu were rare. Confident in his abilities, Lin Moyu avoided forming alliances or trusting anyone in this unfamiliar territory where treachery lurked everywhere. In this vast vacuum zone filled with dazzling colors, even undead, I struggled against visual interference, but Little Python found navigation easier. To its eyes, the area appeared pitch black, with virtual illusory realms and Great Tao beasts standing out clearly amidst darkness. A month passed without encountering anything not Great Tao beasts, not virtual illusory realms, not even other human or outsider Tao lords. All they saw were vibrant displays of Great Tao fireworks, and even Little Python couldn't detect anything unusual. Such conditions were normal for vacuum zones, which often remained empty for long stretches before yielding results. Shi Haifeng had mentioned that finding one Great Tao beast often took decades, and successfully hunting one could take centuries depending on luck and circumstances. Another 3 months passed with no discoveries. Frowning slightly, Lin Moyu muttered,
"Something feels off."
Little Python agreed nervously.
"It does feel strange, I think we've been here before."
Scanning their surroundings carefully, Lin Moyu speculated.
"Perhaps we've entered a virtual illusory realm."
Chapter 3771. The Wolf has arrived. The virtual illusory realms are diverse and unpredictable, taking countless forms that defy exhaustive description. Even with millions of years, it would be impossible to explore every virtual illusory realm. These realms are believed to form in the gaps between the real world and soul void, created by the collision of multiple great Taos and infused with innate primordial materials. When innate primordial materials develop rudimentary intelligence, these realms become dangerous. Upon entering this vacuum zone, Lin Moyu encountered a virtual illusory realm where the innate primordial material had developed simple intelligence, making the realm perilous. Without such intelligence, the danger level of these realms would drop significantly. In this case, Lin Moyu wasn't even aware of when he had entered the virtual illusory realm. It must have been some time ago. The lack of noticeable changes or threats had delayed his realization. Lin Moyu signaled Little Python to remain still while deploying numerous skeletal generals to explore the area. Regardless of size, every virtual illusory realm has boundaries. Finding them is simply a matter of searching. Little Python asked,
"Master, is it possible that there are no boundaries?"
Lin Moyu replied,
"Nothing is absolute, anything is possible. If there are no boundaries, that's normal too. I once entered a secret realm without boundaries, or at least not in the conventional sense. Its boundaries were interconnected. If my guess is correct, this realm might function similarly. It's likely composed of materials tied to the space Great Tao, or illusion Great Tao."
Listening to Lin Moyu's explanation, Little Python's eyes sparkled.
"Master, how do you figure these things out?"
Lin Moyu smiled knowingly.
"Experience teaches everything."
He applied insights from his experiences in small world instances and great world secret realms principles that remained consistent across variations. Natural evolution ensures that differences exist but rarely deviate from foundational principles unless intentionally altered by external forces. As skeletal generals searched tirelessly, they finally reached the edge of the virtual illusory realm. When one skeletal general suddenly vanished and reappeared millions of kilometers away, Lin Moyu understood the nature of this realm. It was a boundary loop structure. Reaching one edge would teleport you to its corresponding opposite side. With this understanding, Lin Moyu focused on mapping its shape. Using coordinates from where skeletal generals disappeared, he connected points systematically to outline the realm's structure. The virtual illusory realm formed a spherical shape, a three-dimensional loop resembling an egg. This
egg
was massive, with a diameter exceeding 50 million kilometers. Space within it was segmented, making normal escape methods ineffective. However, Lin Moyu had no intention of leaving yet. Having entered this realm, he aimed to obtain its innate primordial material. Other Tao lords might struggle under such circumstances, but Lin Moyu was far from helpless. His first target was the center of the realm. Given its symmetrical structure, the material was most likely located at its core. Guided by his mental map, it didn't take long for Lin Moyu to reach the center point. At first glance, the center appeared unremarkable, indistinguishable from surrounding areas. Little Python remarked curiously,
"There's nothing here."
Lin Moyu chuckled.
"Just because it looks empty doesn't mean it truly is."
Activating his ice jade lotus platform, Lin Moyu unleashed vast amounts of cold energy. Instantly, a radius of millions of kilometers froze solid, revealing a circular cavity resembling a spatial tear amidst the ice. The cavity trembled violently, cracking and expanding as it struggled against its icy confinement. Attempting escape, the material caused fractures throughout the frozen region, but Lin Moyu smirked.
"Caught trying to flee? Not so fast."
Maintaining continuous cold energy from his ice jade lotus platform, he prevented its escape while preparing his 1,000 paths and myriad images formation. Once the ice shattered, the material would fall directly into his formation trap. Observing the circular material closely, Lin Moyu discerned its characteristics. It lacked true intelligence but possessed faint sentience due to its high-tier innate primordial nature, a trait that drove its instinctive desire to evade discovery and capture. In origin continent terms, it would qualify as sentient material, a favorite resource for his infinite fusion artifact star.
"It's been ages since I fed it something good. This sentient material will be perfect."
Thinking about infinite fusion, Lin Moyu couldn't help but smile fondly, like a proud parent. This artifact had followed him for years, providing invaluable assistance. It was time to reward it with something exceptional. Innate primordial material at this level might even trigger evolutionary growth for infinite fusion. Little Python asked.
"Why didn't we notice this earlier?"
Lin Moyu explained.
"It can camouflage itself, merging seamlessly with its surroundings. As long as it remains motionless, it's nearly undetectable."
Little Python nodded in understanding, or at least pretended to understand fully. Finally, the ice shattered with a loud crack and the circular material darted away, instantly vanishing from sight entirely. Merging into soul void, it became invisible and untraceable, but Lin Moyu activated his 1,000 paths and myriad images formation immediately. Brilliant great Tao energy illuminated the area, forcing the material back into visibility within his formation trap. Inside, the material charged recklessly from one region to another but found no escape route. The formation resembled an enormous labyrinth. No matter how hard it tried, it couldn't break free. Watching calmly, Lin Moyu refrained from engaging directly. Judging by its strength during earlier collisions with ice, it could strike as powerfully as a Tao Lord, not worth confronting head-on unnecessarily. Eventually, it would adapt to its environment and naturally settle down. Meanwhile, it could experience what being trapped felt like, a fitting payback for Lin Moyu's months-long aimless wandering here. Hours later, the material finally slowed down. Realizing that neither ice nor fire nor water nor lightning could harm it, it stopped resisting altogether and chose a fiery area within the formation as its resting place. Little Python asked eagerly,
"Master, it's not moving anymore. Should we act now?"
Lin Moyu shook his head.
"Not yet. You ever heard of the boy who cried wolf?"
Confused Little Python shook its head blankly. Laughing softly, Lin Moyu replied cryptically,
"This is the wolf has arrived."
With a thought, a fiery staff resembling his catastrophic scepter appeared within the formation and struck toward the circular material repeatedly. Unaffected by these strikes, the material showed no signs of evasion, even vibrating mockingly, as though taunting Lin Moyu's futile attempts. After hundreds of strikes, Lin Moyu finally tossed his catastrophic scepter into the formation. Chapter 3772. The Three Lives Buddha's Arrangement. The wolf had truly arrived. The catastrophic scepter, engulfed in flames, struck down powerfully. The slightly sentient innate primordial material didn't dodge or evade, but instead met the scepter head-on. Bang! A crisp sound reverberated, shaking the soul. Cracks spread across the material, and numerous rifts appeared in the surrounding void. Beyond the rifts lay a vacuum zone. This vacuum zone was part of the virtual illusory realm. Two overlapping spaces made it difficult to distinguish reality from illusion. Bang! Another strike shattered the material into several pieces. Despite being broken into fragments, the material retained its considerable size and quality. Its sentience weakened but remained intact, making it superior to any other material Lin Moyu had acquired before. As Lin Moyu prepared to collect it, a piercing scream erupted from within the material, a scream composed of countless voices that shook the soul. Little Python let out a cry of pain as its soul was injured, causing it to faint on the spot. Lin Moyu frowned.
What is this?
It truly was a ghost. Numerous souls emerged from the core of the material. These souls included virtual beasts, humans, and outsiders, all tangled together into a grotesque form.
So that's what it is.
Lin Moyu quickly understood these were souls of beings who had lost their way in this virtual illusory realm and died within it. Their fragmented souls had been absorbed by the primordial material and fused together over time. These fragmented souls had long lost their intelligence, reduced to mere instincts and obsessions no different from wandering ghosts. However, because they were once powerful beings, their combined strength now surpassed that of a Tao Lord. Without hesitation, Lin Moyu activated his 1,000 paths and myriad images formation at full power to engulf them. Simultaneously, he unleashed world-burning fire into the formation to incinerate the fragmented souls. When dealing with souls, world-burning fire was undoubtedly the most effective tool. The fragmented souls screamed in agony under its flames as Lin Moyu murmured softly,
Rest in peace and reincarnate smoothly in your next life.
His words seemed directed at these souls like a prayer for their release. He tossed out another soul flower to envelop Little Python, whose injuries had left it gravely weakened. Meanwhile, the circular primordial material remained, divided into 5 fragments enduring world-burning fire's relentless blaze. Thanks to its innate nature, even years under such flames wouldn't damage its structure. The real targets were the fragmented souls trapped within. One by one, the souls were refined into soul crystals despite being mere remnants. Suddenly, a radiant glow burst forth from world-burning fire, and a lotus of light appeared in the void.
Amida Buddha!
A resonant Buddhist chant echoed as a golden Buddha manifested atop the lotus. This golden Buddha was merely a remnant soul, its body hazy and ethereal, but its former strength was undeniable.
This is someone beyond Tao Lord level. But how could a Buddha appear here? Weren't they buried long ago?
Questions filled Lin Moyu's mind as he observed this Buddha. Seated atop the lotus, the golden Buddha temporarily resisted world-burning fire. It turned its gaze toward Lin Moyu.
Benefactor, you are fated with my Buddha.
Lin Moyu frowned inwardly.
Fated my foot.
Before Lin Moyu could respond, the golden Buddha spoke again.
Denying fate is futile. The 3 lives secret method cannot be deceived.
Lin Moyu's body trembled slightly as he guessed the Buddha's identity.
You're one of the 3 lives Buddhas? Amida Buddha!
The golden Buddha chanted once more before continuing.
The 3 lives Buddha has passed. I am his incarnation named Rebirth. I have been waiting here for you.
Lin Moyu found this increasingly unbelievable.
You've been waiting for me?
Rebirth Buddha explained.
The 3 lives Buddha peered into the river of fate and foresaw future traces, including his inevitable death. Thus he created me as an incarnation named Rebirth to await you here.
If true, the three lives Buddha possessed extraordinary abilities to glimpse past, present, and future. Lin Moyu asked skeptically.
If that's so, why are you in such a state?
Rebirth Buddha replied.
When the three lives Buddha perished with his era, I too could not survive as his incarnation. My only means of survival was merging with this innate primordial material. Fortunately, the three lives Buddha's foresight was accurate, allowing Rebirth to meet you here, a blessing indeed.
Lin Moyu asked bluntly.
Why have you been waiting for me?
Rebirth Buddha explained further.
The three lives Buddha glimpsed the secret land within the river of fate where he left certain items behind. However, fate is ever-changing, and whether you can find them remains uncertain even beyond his vision.
Contemplating these words, Lin Moyu weighed their credibility. From what he knew, the three lives Buddha had been killed by Origin Continent's world will. If aware of its existence beforehand, it wasn't impossible for him to make preparations. As one of his era's strongest figures and creator of the Three Lives secret method, the Three Lives Buddha's power likely surpassed even that of the Hellmaster. Perhaps he had attempted resistance back then but ultimately failed. Rebirth Buddha waited patiently for Lin Moyu's decision without pressing him further. After some thought, Lin Moyu asked quietly,
Where is this secret land located?
Rebirth Buddha answered,
In Radiant Light Great Spirit Domain. If you choose to go, I will use my remaining soul power to open a path for you. Teleportation within Soul Void?
Lin Moyu marveled at such an ability. It was beyond his current capabilities. That someone like Rebirth could achieve this spoke volumes about how powerful the Three Lives Buddha must have been during his prime. Yet, even he had fallen to Origin Continent's world will, a testament to its overwhelming strength. And that world will was only at its formative stage. Imagining what an eternal stage world will would be like sent chills through Lin Moyu. He asked cautiously,
What if I choose not to go?
Rebirth Buddha replied calmly.
The Three Lives Buddha foresaw such possibilities. It would simply mean fate has decided otherwise. It cannot be forced. Just as you are destined to inherit parts of his Three Lives secret method, this too is tied to karma and destiny. I am merely an incarnation left here for millennia to relay this message. My task is complete, and I shall now dissipate.
Lin Moyu made up his mind.
In that case, I'll go take a look.
Rebirth Buddha chanted another Buddhist mantra before declaring solemnly,
So be it, I shall fulfill my duty as commanded by the Three Lives Buddha and open Soul Void's gate for you.
As mantras echoed through space, they transformed into countless divine runes floating across Soul Void. One fragment of shattered primordial material rose, automatically integrating itself into these runes to form a gateway. Watching this process unfold, Lin Moyu noticed one final fragment was still missing from completing the gate. Using innate primordial material as energy, the gate would enable teleportation within Soul Void itself. Rebirth's golden lotus ascended into place, completing the final piece needed for activation. By now, the golden Buddha appeared increasingly translucent, as though on the verge of vanishing entirely.
Benefactor, please proceed.
Chapter 3773. Radiant Light Great Spirit Domain. Lin Moyu bowed slightly toward the golden Buddha.
Thank you.
He collected the remaining 4 pieces of primordial material, stored Little Python away, and stepped cautiously into the gateway. Though his demeanor appeared calm, Lin Moyu remained vigilant, keeping his soul perception heightened to detect any anomalies. Fortunately, his soul didn't sense any danger. The path seemed safe. Upon entering, a force tugged at his soul as spatial power surged downward, elongating the world visible to him. The world stretched further and further, and as it did, Lin Moyu felt himself traversing infinite distances. Along the way, he glimpsed hidden great Tao beasts within the vacuum zone, their numbers exceeding his expectations. He saw Beast Abyss and the human sovereign within it. The human sovereign seemed to notice him too. Lin Moyu caught a hint of surprise in his expression. Even the human sovereign appeared astonished by the teleportation. How had the Three Lives Buddha achieved such a feat back then? The human sovereign faded from view as the World Tree Great Spirit domain disappeared from sight. The world stretched until it finally shattered entirely. The teleportation abruptly stopped, and Lin Moyu's vision returned to normal. Before him, a radiant light shot forth from afar, sweeping across soul void before vanishing instantly.
Radiant Light Great Spirit Domain.
Lin Moyu realized he had arrived at Radiant Light Great Spirit Domain. During the teleportation, he vaguely sensed passing through 3 Great Spirit Domains and 3 vacuum zones before reaching this destination. Radiant Light Great Spirit Domain was exceedingly far from Golden Furnace Great Spirit Domain.
How did the 3 Lives Buddha find this place back then? Was it to avoid Origin Continent's world will? What exactly did he leave here?
As Lin Moyu pondered, another beam of radiant light swept past from a different angle, traversing soul void before disappearing again. Observing further, he noticed that every 10 minutes a massive beam of radiant light would sweep across this domain. The light seemed to originate from the domain's center, repeatedly scanning its entirety. This phenomenon gave Radiant Light Great Spirit Domain its name. Carefully surveying his surroundings, Lin Moyu speculated about the 3 Lives Buddha's arrangements. If he had left something here for millennia, it wouldn't be placed carelessly, it would have been hidden securely. Moreover, the Buddha had mentioned that finding it depended on Lin Moyu's luck, a hint that unexpected challenges might arise. Fate is ever-changing, and after countless years, space itself would have undergone drastic transformations.
Hopefully it's still here or this trip will be for nothing.
Releasing Little Python, Lin Moyu let it carry him through soul void while deploying numerous skeletal generals to assist in searching. Another beam of radiant light swept past, striking one of his skeletal generals directly. The impact sent the general flying, shattering its bones and leaving it half destroyed.
This radiant light is quite powerful.
Lin Moyu was startled. The light wasn't merely passing through, it could injure those caught in its path. For weaker beings, it might even result in instant death.
Every Great Spirit Domain has unique characteristics derived from innate primordial virtual treasures wielded by its emperor. This must be Radiant Light Great Spirit Domain's defining trait.
Little Python witnessed this scene and muttered,
"The virtual beasts living here must have a tough life."
Lin Moyu responded,
"They've likely adapted. The light must follow a pattern, I'll figure it out soon. If there's a pattern, it can be managed. The real question is whether 3 Lives Buddha's items might have been swept away by this light."
Little Python added,
"Even if there's a pattern and virtual beasts can adapt, what about worlds?" Worlds.
Lin Moyu's eyes lit up.
The 3 Lives Buddha likely hid his items within a world.
Drawing a world-seeking rune, Lin Moyu began searching for nearby worlds. He theorized that radiant light would be harmless to worlds. Their barriers would filter out its energy like they do with great Tao forces. Thus, the Buddha likely placed his items inside one such world. Given his arrival here, it was reasonable to assume they were in the nearest world. However, in vast soul void, finding worlds wasn't easy even for someone like the 3 Lives Buddha. Without a world-seeking rune, the task would indeed be challenging, but with one it became manageable. As the rune floated forward slowly, Lin Moyu and Little Python followed closely behind. Meanwhile, he continued observing changes in Radiant Light's position. Though it occurred every 10 minutes, the locations varied slightly each time. But Lin Moyu believed there was an underlying pattern. If there weren't one, a domain filled with virtual beasts wouldn't survive long under such conditions. Half a day later, Lin Moyu finally deciphered the pattern. The radiant light consistently swept in one direction, and after 3 sweeps it would retreat slightly before continuing in cycles. Mapping space with latitude and longitude lines, he calculated that approximately 360 sweeps were required for the light to cover the entire domain completely. At 10-minute intervals, that equated to 6 sweeps per hour or 60 hours per cycle. Once discovered, the pattern simplified navigation significantly. Avoiding 1 or 2 sweeps ensured safety for nearly 60 hours afterward without encountering radiant light again. Sharing this insight with Little Python, it quickly grasped how to evade danger effectively. As they followed the world-seeking rune, another beam struck, destroying it instantly. Unfazed Lin Moyu drew another rune immediately. With an unlimited supply of these runes, they could be recreated endlessly as needed. After enduring 5 more attacks and redrawing 5 more runes, they finally reached their first world. Rather than entering immediately, Lin Moyu paused. The 3 lives Buddha had waited millennia, a little more time wouldn't matter now. He wanted to test a hypothesis first. When radiant light swept across this world, it was blocked entirely by its barrier, which filtered and dispersed its energy before allowing it to reform beyond its boundaries. Standing behind this world, alongside Little Python, they remained unharmed by subsequent sweeps.
Radiant light doesn't affect worlds after all. This explains why most virtual beasts here likely reside within worlds.
While not particularly intelligent, they instinctively seek shelter from harm, and worlds provide safe havens against radiant light. Lin Moyu suspected that entering this world would lead him into conflict. Deploying his undead army, they breached its barrier effortlessly. Inside, a flood of soul flames illuminated Undead Eye, revealing countless virtual beasts packed tightly together. The sheer number exceeded Lin Moyu's imagination. The entire world resembled a prison crammed full of virtual beasts. Despite their proximity, they coexisted peacefully, a miraculous sight indeed. Stunned by this discovery, Lin Moyu couldn't help but marvel at how vast and unpredictable worlds could be. His arrival triggered reactions among some virtual beasts, but his undead army acted first. Led by commanders, the Dragon Riders charged forward, forming battle formations, while skeletal generals provided rear support, eliminating stragglers. Wave after wave of undead forces carved paths through clusters of virtual beasts, leaving devastation in their wake. Meanwhile, world-burning fire raged fiercely, turning void into seas of flames amid endless cries from dying virtual beasts. Chapter 3774. Discernment Beast was wrong. This world should have been a feast for world-burning fire, but unfortunately, the fire had reached its bottleneck. Without a suitable world to refine, it could no longer grow stronger. The undead army charged ahead, overwhelming the disorganized virtual beasts that stood no chance against their coordinated assault. Under the command of their leader, the undead army attacked with precision, injuring but not killing, leaving the final blow to world-burning fire. The fire blazed fiercely, reducing the virtual beasts to soul crystals. Riding atop Little Python, Lin Moyu traversed the sea of flames while observing the world's interior.
Judging by this world, it seems that in Radiant Light Great Spirit Domain's real worlds, virtual beasts have likely overrun everything. If that's true, then Radiant Light Great Spirit Domain's worlds wouldn't be able to produce powerful life forms.
Virtual beasts dominated these worlds completely. Any emerging life forms would have their souls devoured by virtual beasts before they could grow strong. Under such circumstances, how could powerful beings ever arise? If true, Radiant Light Great Spirit Domain could be considered a paradise for virtual beasts, but a death zone for other life forms. Lin Moyu believed his speculation was likely a harsh reality. As long as radiant light continued sweeping across the domain, virtual beasts would instinctively burrow into worlds, filling them and preventing new life from emerging. This particular world was small, the smallest Lin Moyu had ever seen, even smaller than the one occupied by Soul Heart King. Comparing it to a dead world he had previously refined, Lin Moyu found little difference between them. This world had existed for many years but couldn't grow due to Radiant Light Great Spirit Domain's unique conditions, making it impossible for a world will to form. Not only was this place a death zone for life, it was also a forbidden zone for world wills. Before long, this small world changed ownership. The virtual beasts were slaughtered entirely, and the undead army claimed it. Lin Moyu easily located the world's origin core, a weak mist barely protecting it. Summoning the 5 elements giant and using an innate virtual treasure, Lin Moyu dispersed the mist effortlessly, revealing the core. As the mist cleared, a brilliant Buddha light illuminated everything, and a low Buddhist chant followed.
Amida Buddha!
Lin Moyu smiled faintly.
So it's here after all.
It hadn't taken much effort. He had found what the 3 lives Buddha left behind with surprising ease. However, when he saw the world's origin core, a look of astonishment crossed his face. The core had transformed into a lotus platform upon which sat a golden Buddha. The Buddha's eyes were closed as he chanted softly emanating scriptures that turned into divine runes encircling him like a radiant sun. Under this sun-like aura, the surrounding space shimmered brilliantly bathed in golden splendor. Meanwhile, a vast aura steadily revived around him. Lin Moyu watched quietly, his expression tinged with amusement. Though unexpected, the situation seemed logical upon reflection. The golden Buddha before him was none other than the Three Lives Buddha. The Three Lives Buddha wasn't dead. Moments later, the chanting ceased and the Three Lives Buddha slowly opened his eyes. His gaze was deep and gentle, as though encompassing entire worlds.
"Greetings, benefactor,"
he said warmly. Without moving, the Three Lives Buddha projected an enormous Buddha phantom from behind him, which bowed deeply toward Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu returned the courtesy.
"Greetings, senior. I never expected you to deceive everyone and survive until now."
According to history, the Three Lives Buddha had perished during the Second Era's demise. Even Discernment Beast claimed he was dead. Yet here he was proving that even Discernment Beast wasn't infallible. The Three Lives Buddha remarked,
"Discernment Beast is all-knowing, but perfection is impossible even for it."
Lin Moyu chuckled.
"True, it can hear everything, but if we don't speak, it hears nothing."
Discernment Beast relied on sound to perceive. It couldn't create knowledge from silence. With careful planning, it could be deceived. The Three Lives Buddha had done just that, successfully fooling even Discernment Beast, a true feat of deception. Speaking softly, the Three Lives Buddha said,
"You must be curious about how I survived."
Lin Moyu admitted openly.
"I am indeed curious. If you're willing to share, I'm all ears."
The Three Lives Buddha explained,
"During an epiphany, I glimpsed the fate great Tao and discovered that world wills loom overhead but can be circumvented. My Buddhist disciples seek nothing, but we refuse to be puppets or slaves. Thus I began making preparations. Before they noticed me, I scattered countless incarnations beyond worlds in search of escape routes. By chance, I found that gate."
Lin Moyu was startled.
"That gate?"
The Three Lives Buddha nodded.
"Your guess is correct. It was that gate. Using my life's accumulation, I opened a small crack and peered into its secrets. From it I gained certain benefits and managed to evade detection by world wills, saving my life. I ventured into endless soul void, explored countless veils of mystery, and eventually arrived here where I seized this world and hid within its origin core, awaiting opportunity."
Lin Moyu asked,
"If you obtained that gate long ago, why did you abandon it later?"
The Three Lives Buddha replied,
"For two reasons. First, that gate is incredibly difficult to open. Even with millions of years' effort, I could only create a small crack. Moreover, it couldn't fit within spatial storage. I couldn't carry it while fleeing and had no choice but to leave it behind. Second, opening that crack alerted an entity behind the gate, a terrifying being that made me too afraid to open it again."
Hearing this explanation clarified much for Lin Moyu, including why even the Hell Master abandoned that gate later on. In the Three Lives Buddha's era, a crack in that gate yielded benefits but also awakened something behind it. When that gate fell into Hell Master's hands, he disguised it using Hell Gate and spent millions of years accumulating power before reopening it. This time, the entity didn't just stir, it emerged fully through that gate. Both Hell Master and Three Lives Buddha abandoned that gate afterward for survival. They couldn't take it with them. And now that entity roamed somewhere in this world, searching for that gate once more. What exactly transpired during these events remained unclear, but perhaps delving into Time River someday might reveal answers. However, for now, it wasn't yet time. Navigating Time River required extensive preparation. Lin Moyu remarked,
"In my era, a powerful figure obtained that gate and reopened it. The entity behind has already emerged."
The Three Lives Buddha showed no surprise, instead chanting softly,
"Perhaps doubt this too is fate."
Chapter 3775, The Cause-Seeking Ring. The Three Lives Buddha had once peered into the fate great Tao, not just once, but many times. Through these repeated glimpses, he saw far into the future and countless possibilities, leading him to place unwavering faith in fate. To Lin Moyu, this faith was both a shackle and a burden. Many cultivators were like this. They trusted their great Tao completely. However, when that trust exceeded its limits, their great Tao became a cage. For the Three Lives Buddha, the fate great Tao was both his cage and his heart's obstacle, something only he could overcome. Lin Moyu remarked,
Senior, after arriving in Radiant Light Great Spirit Domain, you surely didn't just sleep here. Am I correct in assuming so? Moreover, your choice of Radiant Light Great Spirit Domain wasn't random. There must have been deeper reasons behind it.
The Three Lives Buddha nodded.
You are correct. My actions were not without cause. The root lies in what I obtained from beyond that gate.
Lin Moyu's curiosity deepened.
What did you obtain? The heaven-concealing stone, the void disk, and the myriad intent diagram.
Without hesitation, the Three Lives Buddha revealed what he had gained. His acquisitions overlapped with those of the Hellmaster but also differed in some aspects. The heaven-concealing stone was identical. It could deceive even world wills by erasing one's true spirit from origin continent, granting freedom. However, it required convincing the world will that one was already dead for the stone to fully activate. The Hellmaster had used the immortal gem in conjunction with the heaven-concealing stone to achieve this deception. In contrast, the Three Lives Buddha relied on his Three Lives secret method, which allowed him to create incarnations indistinguishable from his true self when infused with soul power. By combining an incarnation with the heaven-concealing stone, he successfully deceived the world will and regained his freedom. Although he suffered some losses, it was far less severe than the Hellmaster's prolonged slumber of millions of years. After regaining his freedom, the Three Lives Buddha wasn't truly safe, so he used the void disk to traverse vast distances across soul void and reality. The void disk enabled synchronized teleportation between realms covering billions of kilometers instantly with astonishing speed. Through repeated teleportation, he eventually reached Radiant Light Great Spirit Domain. Having glimpsed future events through the Fate Great Tao, the Three Lives Buddha sent an incarnation to Golden Furnace Great Spirit Domain's vacuum zone, where it entered a virtual illusory realm. There, he merged with innate primordial material to preserve himself until Lin Moyu's arrival. Over countless years, numerous virtual beasts entered that realm but never left. They were obliterated by the Three Lives Buddha using a unique method that destroyed their souls. He also used these souls, including those of Tao Lords, to nourish himself, ensuring his incarnation's survival. Additionally, he left behind one final use of the void disk within that realm. As for the myriad intent diagram, it was an exceptionally unique treasure. It functioned across both soul void and reality, allowing him to split his will into countless incarnations imbued with his full strength for limited durations. In Radiant Light Great Spirit Domain, where strong life forms couldn't exist due to its innate primordial virtual treasure, the Three Lives Buddha used the myriad intent diagram to create 10,000 incarnations. These incarnations scoured Radiant Light Great Spirit Domain for worlds, entered them, and sought to seize their origin cores. Not all succeeded, but many did, and virtual beasts within those worlds were powerless against him. As a result, many worlds in Radiant Light Great Spirit Domain now belong to the Three Lives Buddha. Though he didn't specify how many, Lin Moyu refrained from asking further. The number was undoubtedly significant given the Three Lives Buddha's strength during his prime, a level surpassing even the Hellmaster at his peak. Radiant Light Great Spirit Domain's weak worlds made them easy to claim, a characteristic that was both an advantage and a limitation. Weak worlds offered limited utility, but someone like the Three Lives Buddha wouldn't engage in meaningless actions. His meticulous preparations, including waiting for Lin Moyu, indicated he hadn't abandoned resistance against Origin Continent's world will. In other words, the grudge from back then remained unresolved in his heart. Lin Moyu asked,
It seems you've been busy over these years.
The Three Lives Buddha replied,
Indeed, I've done much. This domain's weak worlds allowed me to claim them easily, and I've since nurtured them. I transformed virtual beasts from illusory beings into real ones, turning them into life forms within these worlds to accelerate their growth toward forming world wills. Now several worlds have reached their formative stages. While they're still weaker than Origin Continent's world wills, they can provide some assistance when needed.
Lin Moyu thought to himself. As expected, the Three Lives Buddha wouldn't remain idle. As one of history's greatest geniuses and creator of the Three Lives secret method, it was impossible for him to lose heart like the Hell Master and abandon revenge entirely. This approach made sense. With several worlds reaching formative stages, they already possessed considerable combat strength. Even if they couldn't challenge Origin Continent's world will directly, they could at least contend with its subordinates effectively. Lin Moyu asked,
How do you plan to act when the time comes? The void disk is spent, and this place is far from Origin Continent. Moving formative stage worlds isn't easy.
The Three Lives Buddha replied.
That's why further preparations are needed.
Lin Moyu chuckled lightly.
You want me to find that gate, enter it, and retrieve new void disks?
The Three Lives Buddha chanted softly.
You are perceptive. Beyond that gate lie many void disks. You may find several if given the chance. They are incredibly useful. Moreover, that gate holds countless treasures. If you obtain suitable ones, they could aid greatly against him.
Lin Moyu remarked cautiously.
But beyond that gate lies great danger.
The Three Lives Buddha acknowledged this solemnly.
Indeed, it is up to you now. I cannot assist further. Beware of the entity beyond that gate. It is both dangerous and cunning.
At this moment, a radiant will rose behind him, shrouded in ethereal mist under dazzling Buddhist light, a stunning sight.
This is my gift to you,
he said finally. This item was clearly why Lin Moyu had been summoned here. It had been prepared specifically for him all along. Accepting it, the light faded, revealing its true form. A jade ring inscribed with dense divine runes that moved ceaselessly across its surface.
A cause and effect treasure.
Lin Moyu exclaimed. It was a Tao Lord-level artifact. The Three Lives Buddha explained.
This is called the cause-seeking ring. I prepared it for you specifically. However, it requires Tao Lord cultivation to use properly. I hope you wield it wisely.
Lin Moyu didn't examine it immediately, instead bowing slightly toward him.
Thank you, Senior.
The Three Lives Buddha replied calmly.
No need for thanks. I have my reasons for doing this, as I'm sure you've guessed. If possible, we should work together towards success.
Lin Moyu declared resolutely.
Failure is not an option. I value my life too much, which is why I'll ensure this succeeds.
Chapter 3776. Someone behind the Three Lives Buddha. The Three Lives Buddha was serious about confronting Origin Continent's world will. Through his conversation with the Buddha, Lin Moyu realized that their paths were fundamentally different. The Hell Master, the Three Lives Buddha, and the human sovereign each pursued their own unique approaches, and Lin Moyu was no exception. Ultimately, who would reach the pinnacle was uncertain. Even the fate Great Tao couldn't know. Only by reaching the end could one truly understand. However, Lin Moyu felt his vision surpassed theirs. Regardless of their chosen paths, they all remained bound within the confines of Origin Ancestral Land. All their Taos were rooted within Origin Ancestral Land's framework. In contrast, Lin Moyu's Thousand Worlds had been designed from the start to rival Origin Ancestral Land and eventually surpass it. The Thousand Worlds would possess its own great Tao and ancestral land, entirely independent and self-contained. Within this vast system, some worlds would be strong while others weak, with competition among them, but collectively, they would form a unified whole under Lin Moyu's rule as their world master. Unlike other world masters, Lin Moyu's role would be distinct, an embodiment of his Thousand Worlds will. After conversing for a long time, the Three Lives Buddha suggested Lin Moyu leave so he could continue nurturing worlds. The incarnations created through the myriad intent diagram remained under his control even after seizing worlds. These incarnations lacked autonomy, relying entirely on commands from their original body. Thus, the Three Lives Buddha was constantly busy, and during his chat with Lin Moyu, the development of countless worlds had come to a halt. While pausing one or two worlds might not matter, stopping thousands would have significant consequences. These budding world wills would become powerful allies in the future. Leaving the Buddha's world, Lin Moyu examined the small jade ring known as the cause-seeking ring. He infused it with soul power to establish ownership. Although only Tao Lords could use the cause-seeking ring, ownership didn't require such cultivation, and Lin Moyu completed this process before leaving Radiant Light Great Spirit Domain. Information about the ring flowed into his mind. The cause-seeking ring traced effects back to their causes, allowing users to uncover origins and connections. Lin Moyu's expression turned peculiar.
How did he know I wanted a cause and effect treasure? Not only did he have one, but it's perfectly suited for me.
Little Python asked curiously.
Master, is something wrong?
Lin Moyu shook his head.
Something feels very off. He claimed to have glimpsed the fate great Tao and foreseen the future, but fate is constantly changing. The future holds countless possibilities. A seemingly insignificant event could alter everything. Moreover, he claimed to have seen events from millions of years ahead. Do you think that's even possible?
Having interacted with the fate great Tao himself, Lin Moyu understood how unpredictable the future truly was. Even predicting events just a few years ahead was unreliable, let alone millions of years. The Three Lives Buddha might be powerful, but he couldn't surpass formative stage world wills, let alone figures like the human sovereign. Lin Moyu doubted that even the human sovereign could see so far ahead in fate, much less someone like the Buddha. Little Python tilted its head in confusion, not fully grasping Lin Moyu's reasoning. Smiling faintly, Lin Moyu conjured a line of fire to guide their path.
Let me think this through.
Reflecting on their conversation, the Buddha's demeanor, and his attitude toward Lin Moyu, it became clear there was something unusual about him. The cause-seeking ring, a cause and effect treasure tailored for Lin Moyu, couldn't have been foreseen by the Buddha millions of years ago. Even if he had calculated extensively, it wouldn't have been this precise. Most notably, the Buddha's overly accommodating attitude toward Lin Moyu raised suspicions. He sought revenge, and Lin Moyu aimed to resist. They were aligned in purpose, but instead of negotiating, the Buddha simply agreed to everything Lin Moyu proposed without offering his own opinions, a behavior that seemed illogical. Furthermore, the Buddha hadn't established ownership over the cause-seeking ring, instead keeping it stored away, as if waiting for Lin Moyu specifically to claim it. When handing over the ring, the Buddha's expression seemed almost impatient, as if eager for Lin Moyu to take it and leave. Considering all these factors, Lin Moyu reached a likely conclusion. Someone was behind the Three Lives Buddha. As for who, it could only be that figure, the green-robed old man. Other than him, Lin Moyu couldn't think of anyone else capable of such influence.
What is this guy planning? He started laying foundations in small worlds and has schemed all the way up to now. He played a role in Origin Catastrophe and even arranged for me to acquire Ice Jade Lotus platform. This Ice Jade Lotus platform likely isn't simple either, but I lack sufficient strength to fully utilize its power yet. What else has he planned, and what is his ultimate goal?
Ultimately, all signs pointed back to the green-robed old man, a shadowy figure whose motives remained elusive despite his pervasive presence. Meanwhile, in reality, the Three Lives Buddha's world unfolded. Countless followers knelt chanting Buddhist scriptures as an enormous Buddha phantom presided over them from above. This vast world teemed with worshippers resembling humans but bearing non-human traits, all transformed virtual beasts who had entered reality through origin cores. These followers were merely one group among thousands across countless worlds controlled by the Three Lives Buddha. At this world's core, a faint green light emerged.
Amida Buddha!
With a solemn chant, the Three Lives Buddha bowed reverently.
Three Lives pays respects to Master.
The green-robed old man regarded him indifferently.
Well done.
The Buddha replied humbly.
I merely followed your instructions, Master.
The green-robed old man continued.
You possess insight, that's why I helped you back then.
Grateful, the Buddha responded earnestly.
Without your guidance, I couldn't have escaped Origin Continent. Whatever you need, I'll serve until death.
The green-robed old man instructed calmly.
Proceed as planned, but don't force things unnecessarily. If successful, I'll ensure your place among eternal beings.
Overwhelmed with gratitude, the Buddha replied fervently.
Thank you, Master, I understand.
As the green-robed old man vanished, the Three Lives Buddha rose slowly. His expression remained solemn, but his eyes burned with ambition.
Eternity.
Uttering this single word, it carried immense weight. It was his ultimate goal, for which he would stop at nothing. Back in Soul Void, Lin Moyu pressed forward while pondering these revelations. Though he had gained clarity, it felt futile dwelling further on such complexities. They only added layers to an already tangled web. Following directions from his earlier teleportation, he began returning toward World Tree Great Spirit Domain. However, with only vague bearings, not precise coordinates, he relied on exploration while summoning elemental liches using newly acquired sentient materials. Before long, Little Python exclaimed suddenly,
Master, there's something ahead.